Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a special online event today. It's called How the Indigenous Path of Curanderismo Can Transform You and the World. Receive healing prayers in a sacred water ceremony led by a legendary Mayan elder. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I am so blessed and honored to get to host today's program with one of my favorite human beings on the planet. Her name is Grandmother Flordemayo, and she is a remarkable healer and emissary of the divine, somebody who is both incredibly humble and very generous, but also very amazing in some of the realms she traverses and healing she participates in. She was a member of the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. She's a universal healer, visionary, dreamer, and founder of the Path nonprofit. She has 40 acres of land in New Mexico, and she's actually going to be doing today's program from that land. And we're just really blessed to call her as a friend and ally who's also stayed with us and blessed our children, and really is such a just a luminous, beautiful soul. So thank you, Grandmother Flordemayo, for joining us here today.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here, and much blessings of love and light to each and everyone. Thank you.
Well, I know we're gonna dive in. We're gonna have a beautiful hour together. I do want to let everybody know that we are gonna have a brand new program with Flordemayo that we're gonna share about towards the end. So more to come on that. But before we begin talking about the path of Curanderismo, I think it'd be really beautiful if we started today's journey together. If you opened us up with some prayer, and we can all just join in a prayerful space together.
Thank you. Beloved beauty, infinite light of the great cosmos, spirit of all that exists, thank you. On this beautiful, beautiful sacred day, beloved Creator, heart of the heavens, heart of the earth, Mother, Father, Giver of all of life, thank you. Grandmothers of the four directions, we call upon you to be here with us at this particular moment, asking for your blessings at this particular moment. Beloved Spirit of all of our ancestors, each and every one of us in the four directions. Spirit of the sacred elements of life. Spirit of the sacred fire. Spirit of the sacred wind. Spirit of the sacred waters. Spirit of the sacred earth. And all that dwell within these, all that lives in the oceans and the sacred waters, the sweet waters, the rivers and the streams, all of those that fly high into the highest mountains, all of those that fly low through the valleys, all of the sacred animals that live on the earth, and all that lives on the earth, beloved Creator. And us, as the children of the earth, beloved beauty, I send great gratitude. Acknowledging the spirit of all of our ancestors, each and every one of us. We're calling on our ancestors to be here with us at this sacred, sacred moment. Thank you, beloved Spirit, beloved Mother. Thank you for all the beauty that you bring to us. Much blessings to each and every one. Thank you.
Thank you, Flordemayo. There's just such a tenderness and sweetness with the way you pray that just really brings a kind of intimacy with the divine that is such a blessing. So thank you. Well, let's begin the journey of talking today with a little bit of your backstory, your upbringing, your training in the art of curanderismo, and just some of your experiences that led you to bring forth the healing work you do.
The word curanderismo is like a new word in the Spanish language. And what I mean by that is that this word was brought in by the Spaniards. When they saw the way that indigenous people prayed and did their healings, they gave us that name. But when you break the name into two words, the first word, cura, means priest. Curar means to heal. And curanderismo is an open method of healing. And so this is where the word comes from. It's very interesting to me when we use this word, because basically what we are saying is that we are people of prayer that practice healing. That definition, to me in Spanish, that's what it means. And so it's a journey. It was everyday life. Everything that was being done through the teachings. We were always reminded, if someone had a cough, to make some syrup, for example. As you became older and you can stand up over the fire to make medicine, we were taught to do that. We were taught to have a little garden with some of the herbs that were used on a daily basis. We were taught on how to bring prayer into what we were doing, bring in the intention into what we were doing, to be mindful and to be thinking positiveness as we are doing this. So curanderismo has so many different modalities. For example, my mother was a midwife, but through her midwifery, she had the knowledge of herbs. She was not what we would call an herbalist, which an herbalist is like, that is all that they do is herbal medicine. But my mom, with her knowledge of herbs, she would deliver the babies, she would teach the moms, she would do sacred bathings for the babies. Let me share with everybody, there's a beautiful word in Spanish that when a baby is born, it is said that the mother is bringing light forth. So from the beginning, from the time that we are babies, we understand that when a baby is born, light is being born. And so we start on our journey, at least I did with my mom, with these beautiful, beautiful, precious words. In Central America, the babies are bathed when they are born. It is explained to us that it's very, very traumatic for birth, not only for the baby, but also for the moms. And so they are bathed in a sacred way, and the babies are bathed in a sacred way. And so the art of bathing with sacred herbs starts from the beginning of our lives. My mother, other than being a midwife and she used to set bones, she also was a masseuse. So we're going into different arts of this curanderismo. She was also a very fascinating dream interpreter, and she was also very intuitive. When she spoke to us, we knew that she could see right through us. And so it was very beautiful and an interesting journey to have been around my mom, especially as a child. And she was able to explain everything in the simplest of terms in a way that we could understand and be happy, because we were in training. All of us, all of my brothers and sisters, we were all in training. And we had to practice. It was part of our daily life.
Beautiful. Well, it's interesting that from intuition to herbalism to massage, there's so many different modalities that we work with now at Shift that just were part of the ambiance of growing up. So how did you begin to really develop the ability to work with prayer and specific healings with people when there's a disease or a challenge that they're facing?
My mother, how should I say, opened the doors to doing the prayers in the moment. And how she would open the doors, she would say, "Child, speak as if the Creator is with you. And what would you say?" And so, as children, we would start and say, "Well, my knee hurts, and I really, I would like, to not have so much pain on my knee." As children, you think of children's things, to say. But as a very, very young child, I was able to see into the invisible. And from the time that I was very, very little, something that has been always with me are these patterns of light. And so with every prayer, these patterns of light that I see is what translates to words. So I really am not in the habit of writing down prayers. The prayers happen spontaneously as the light moves in front of me, and I go into this connection of the light, and then I receive the words. Somehow it's not like I hear them, I just say it. This particular practice came from my mother. We did not have like prayer books. I have never read the Bible. That's not to say that I could not sit down and read it right now, but I am in love with the Creator. And it's for me to be able to go into dialogue in this and have the spontaneousness of communication is the most beautiful way that I have experienced the prayer.
Well, I love that description, and the beloved relationship with the Creator is really evident in the way you talk and engage and pray. I wanted to ask a little bit more about the light. So it sounds like you're just really opening to what the light of the divine, of spirit, just wants to move through in the moment. How does that connect with somebody else's body? Let's say that they have a chronic health condition. How do you see the light and the prayer and the blessing kind of moving together to begin to shift some of the healings that are required?
When I am doing a healing on a person, the first thing that I do is I ask for permission. And through the permission, immediately what I see is an outline of the person. And within the outline, then the dance of light comes in. It's not always like this rainbow color, brilliant light. If the person is ill, the light is diffused and it goes into different parts of the body. And so I start with that and I communicate. And I say to them, you know, I am seeing this, I am seeing that, I am seeing the other thing. And so I start with that. I start with the first few words. And I encourage the person to speak back to me so that I can hear their voice. It's very important to hear the voice because the vibration that is carried from their voice, it's almost like having a dial and you're trying to regulate something. But it's a very beautiful practice. And it only has come to me through practice. Of course, when I was younger, I would see, you know, the lights. But now as a grandmother, it starts off with like a little pin light, like a little white light, and then it expands. And so I speak to this expansion of light, and I become one with it. And that's how I move about. A lot of the work that I do is in the dream time. I spend a lot of time working at night.
Yeah, you've shared some of those stories that are kind of amazing when you come back from the dream time and all that's happened overnight while the rest of us were mainly sleeping, or at least that's all we remember. So I know you also have, one of the ways that you work is also by connecting people in a different and deeper way with the natural world. I know you've done some beautiful prayers and ceremonies with rocks as an example to connect with them on a more conscious level. And today I think we're going to focus a little more on water. So maybe share a little bit about why water plays such an important role in healing from your perspective, and why creating this kind of more reverential relationship with water actually leads to all kinds of blessings in our life and the larger world.
Of course. So I'm going to use a cup that belonged to my mom. And my mom used this cup in so many different ways. And I am so greatly honored to have inherited this cup, because it has been one of my tools that I have kept in a secret compartment. In fact, my children, perhaps maybe they could say like, oh, I've never seen that cup. And the reason for it is just this, it's so precious to me that I really, really take care of it. It's a glass cup, and I'm going to ask everyone to use whatever is convenient for you. The beauty of curanderismo and the way that I teach is that we have to make things very, very simple. If all you have is a plastic bottle of water, well, that's okay. If you have a little tiny little cup, a little tiny little container, it really, really doesn't matter. What matters is that we do it, and that we learn to do it and use it and teach others. The thing about curanderismo, that we are in this moment of where humanity is at these crossroads And here we are speaking about the way of curanderismo, and nothing has to be complicated that we can get ourselves complicated or upset. I don't have this, I don't have that. Of course we do. We have everything that we need, we have right there where we need it. And so what I'm going to encourage and let everybody know, that when we speak about the water, it's an incredibly sensitive element, just like all of the other elements. And water has the capacity to hear us. And water has the capacity to change, and also to change us, because we are made of water. So what I have done is that I have written a little prayer, okay? This is my personal little prayer. I'm going to show everybody my mom's beautiful water cup. And this beautiful, beautiful container, we can speak to it. And as we speak, we become one with the element of this beautiful water. So what we're going to do is that we're going to gently speak to the water. And remember, all of the elements take a form. And what I mean by that is that this water is a water being. And so here we are, we're starting our dialogue. Beloved Spirit of the sacred water, blessings to you with my breath. On this beautiful, beautiful day, beloved Spirit of the sacred water, I have written for you a beautiful, beautiful prayer. And this prayer I would like to send out into the four directions. I would like to infuse this prayer in this sacred, sacred water. And at some point down the road, whether later today or tomorrow, the energy of the prayers that have gone into this water, I'm going to ask this beautiful spirit of this beautiful water to bless me and to bless all of those that touch this water, that drink this water, where they can use this water to bless themselves, so that this blessing could be carried throughout the day, throughout the evening, so that we can do this simple way of healing ceremony in the name of the light of the incredible cosmos, in the name of all of the brothers and sisters in the beautiful heavens, in the name of all that lives on the earth. Give us your blessings on this sacred day, so that we can become one with this beautiful, beautiful healing water that is going to go through our bodies. This water will be able to cleanse us, purify us, and heal us. as we, as humans, have been going through incredible, incredible turmoil. This water is designed for anyone, from little bitty babies to the elderly. Let it be so, Spirit of the sacred waters, that you will bless us in the name of all of the invisible beings that have come, that have entered into this water, that have touched it to bless us so that we can receive their healing power. Beloved Spirit of this beautiful, beautiful cup of water, I thank you. In the name of the grandmothers of the four directions, I thank you. And so what we do, we take our personal prayer and we put it in the bottom of the glass and we set it on our altar. And of course, throughout the day, throughout the evening, bless yourself. Throughout the day, throughout the evening, bless yourself. Bless your husband. Bless your children. Bless the little ones. Bless the house pets. Bless everyone.
Well, thank you for that. What a beautiful blessing. And I really just feel what a different relationship with water that you create when you really honor it with as a spirit of water, that it has a healing power to it. And I know you do that with really all of creation. I've seen you do it with rocks and animals, and maybe share a little bit about how when you relate to the whole creation as an intelligent and beautiful aspect of creator, then that shifts your whole relationship with life.
It's something that I did throughout my life. I have always had rocks that I felt a bonding. I've also had rocks that I have heard voice and guidance from these different rocks. Some of them are precious, some of them are semi-precious, some of them are our rocks that we have on the road where we walk, all kinds of different rocks. But it started as a child. And one of the beauty about being a child, and especially right now, is that we allow the children with their imagination to connect with nature. I believe that a classroom should be within nature and allow the little ones, from the time that they're teeny weeny, to connect, because this is the way that we develop the sensitivity. And this is the way that we develop the attractiveness, and we have the curiosity of what it is that we heard and what we're being told. And so there are so many things that I could go into, so many different directions that I have experienced that to me is a real world. And so as a child, I was supported by my brothers and sisters, my mom, that yes, these invisible worlds are real worlds, they exist. And, you know, that's the way that it is. I'm not thought about it any other way. And so it's a beautiful thing to be able to learn that you are sitting in this physical reality, and at the same time, you can close your eyes and go into an invisible world. It's really, really precious. I have to share with everyone that as I was doing the ceremony of the water, doing the prayer, this beautiful being came and put its little face on the water. So you know how you see the reflection of the water, so the face looked a little out of the ordinary, but it was precious, and it was just looking at me, and I just thought in my heart how sweet this life is of how we can attract things that are not in our physical reality, and they're not anything that is in our imagination, because I could not imagine a being like that, other than I feel so honored and so grateful, and I'm so happy to be able to experience throughout my life these different worlds. It's so sweet. So thank you to everyone, because this is a collective effort.
Well, thank you for also sharing about how to raise children. We're actually doing, as you know, some similar things with our girls to let them grow up in connection in nature in a forest school. So beautiful. And so one thing, an area that I'd love for you to share a little bit more about is that it's really palpable when I'm around you, just how much you are surrendered to what Spirit wants, what the divine wants. Like, you become really a vessel for the healing of others, or sometimes very synchronistic things happening. And just that there's a palpable way that you really just, you show up wherever you're called, and you don't always have like an agenda or know what's supposed to unfold or where you're going. And just love for you to like share a little bit about how is it that you've cultivated that way of being, and how do you sort of keep the practice alive of just being a vessel for the Creator to move through.
I'm going to go back to the time that I was a child again. I'm going to go back into the sacred teachings from my mother. I really did not have any schooling as a child. And the reason for that is because when you're poor in Central America, you cannot afford an education. It's absolutely very simple. So my education, in the way that I see my world, came through that of just being one with Spirit. And I can't think of any other way that it could have happened. There was no interference of things like I have to take a test in 2 days, or I have a test tonight. There was nothing, there was no thought of anything else other than what I was being taught at the house with my mother and my brothers and sisters. So I believe that I am grateful to my Creator that I did not have that opportunity to go into a classroom setting as a child, because I would not be able to do this. I believe that in my heart. I had no interference in my mind. There was only one way to focus and to do things. And I developed that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, I'd love for you to share any other just stories of healing that it can come through curanderismo that really help us to illuminate the path and practice.
The beauty of curanderismo is also in storytelling. And I have so many different stories. And of course, we imitated what we saw, and we were expected to imitate and to take action as very young. I'm going to share a really, really sweet story. We were 3 younger sisters. Of course, I'm the youngest. My middle sister had a tendency of doing what she shouldn't be doing. And she would go and play in places with our cousin that we were not supposed to be. Let's say, for example, one time my cousin decided that she was going to go into this room that was like a storage room. And in this room, there was a wardrobe. She decided that we were going to climb up into the wardrobe and we were going to play at the top of the wardrobe. The room was always locked, but she managed to open it. And it wasn't a room that was in our house, it was in her house. And so my cousin and my sister decided that, to go play up there would be fun. So we had to climb up on the side of the wardrobe. And out of nowhere, my cousin heard her mom. And she became panicky, and she said to both of us, "We have to get out of here and don't let mom see us." And so as everybody did that, I followed everybody, and I stepped wrong on this pile of wire. And of course, I got severely cut. And there we are, the 3 of us, and I feel like I was going to scream from the pain in my leg. My cousin held me very, very tight so that nobody would hear me crying. And my sister snuck in the kitchen. And she took the outer layers of onion and she placed it. She didn't pack it, she just placed the onion skin over the cut. And it's the medicine to coagulate the blood. And it was like an extreme emergency. I was just bleeding so much. The cut was so deep. And it practically stopped, like immediately. And my sister had this really, really sweet voice, and she had this incredible passion with the mother. And I remember her as even a little teeny weeny little kid as she's doing this healing on me. My cousin is embracing me, she's holding me, but my sister is doing the healing. And my sister is singing to her. And so they were able to do this healing. And the beauty of it was that no one found out about it until sometime down the road, but I've already had like a scab on it that my mom said to me, how did you get that, that scab on you? Like, what is that? So my mom was waiting for like, a story. As I became older, I was asked by medical doctors about that, and they said, "Oh, we could stitch that for you, open it and restitch it." And I'm like, "No, I'm very proud of that, that cut and the healing that my sister did on me. No, I don't want anybody to touch it." There are like certain things that, that are precious that happen to you, even though they were difficult. Yeah.
Well, that's a great example of turning difficulties into something really positive. So thank you. And I want to spend a little time now. I know we're going to do a closing prayer ceremony, but I do want to give a little bit of time to talking about your upcoming program with Shift. And first of all, I just want to thank you for working with us. It's been such a blessing over the years, not only to work with you professionally on programs, but also on a personal level, and just feel like your sincerity and the authenticity and the depth of love and care you have. So we're really blessed that Flordemayo is going to do a brand new program with Shift called Mayan and Curanderismo Rituals to heal and awaken and uplift yourself in the heart of the world. A guided spiritual journey with legendary curandera, spiritu, Grandmother Flordemayo, a vision bearer of the beloved mother. So you've been hearing today just a taste of what she can offer in terms of insight into like how to relate to being human in a way that is healing and that accesses our divine powers as aspects of the creative intelligence of the universe. And she's just so simple and clear and humble about transmitting these deep, timeless truths and really accessing more ancient indigenous traditions. So you can find this program laid out in detail at MayanWisdomCourse.com. That's MAYAN, wisdomcourse.com. It's going to be a 7-week journey where you really have a chance to journey in a kind of healing circle and context with a set of transmitted teachings and practices and stories and ritual and ceremonial work together. This is a wisdom circle. It's the way that Flordemayo works is to let spirit move through her, very much as she's spoken about today. There's some broader themes and practices, but it's also very responsive to just being in the moment with people from around the world to really create a live learning community that can span the world, even in a time of COVID and other challenges that can prevent us from being in circle. So, Grandmother Flordemayo, I'd love for you to share a little bit about why you're offering this program and what you're excited to share, and then I'll read out the module titles. You can tell us a little bit about each one.
The biggest reason that I felt that I wanted to do this program is because I have been seeing a lot of my elders crossing into spirit. I have been witnessing this for many, many years. And in conversation with my daughter, Heather, I said to her, we have an expression in Central America that we say, our life is here on loan. And we just don't know when the Creator is going to call us. I have children, I have grandchildren, I have great-grandchildren, and I said to my daughter, I want to leave something, not only for my children, but for the children of the world, and to encourage those that are in love with the capacity to be able to work with the invisible, to be guided by the invisible, to come back into a place in our lives where we renew our vows with our Creator, where we could work side by side and be guided for the future generations. The future generations is something that all of the grandmothers and grandfathers are concerned about. And if I am concerned, I want to live and to give something of my life to the future generations, and how I learned this. Because we are in the middle of these crossroads, and we are going through some difficult times. And it's imperative that we opened into another way of our everyday life. A simpler way, a positive way, and something that always comes back and gives you something back. It nurtures us and it gives us so much love, hope, and beauty for all of humanity. And so that is the reason why I felt that I wanted to do this.
Mm. Well, that's what an amazing reason. So thank you. Let me read out some of the course module titles, and you can share a little bit about what you'll be doing. So module 1 is Curanderismo and Healing Within, Setting Daily Spiritual Goals and Rituals.
That's right. I'm going to go through like a full day of how we can inspire ourselves with all of the beauty that is around us, become one with all of that.
Module 2, Prayer, Intention, and Peace, Creating Your Own Prayer and Dialogue with the Creator.
I'm going to show and guide everyone on how to become one with the prayer, to breathe and live with the prayer, and allow that to be with you all of the time. Where, in need, you can come back, pull that energy of the prayer and share it with your family, your community, how to go into spontaneous prayer.
Module 3, Sacred Altars, Spiritual Healing, Rituals, and Ceremonies.
We are children of tangible things, and I encourage everyone to bring the most precious of precious into your altar with the consideration of the 4 sacred elements of life and beyond, of course. And so creating different types of altars is something that I would like to show everyone, because we don't like to be bored. We like to do new things. And through these new things, we grow. Remember, this curanderismo is a practice, and so the more that we practice, we learn more, and we learn to listen and to hear and to see what it is that we learn. Each and every one of us is learning differently.
So module 4, and again, you can follow all the details on this at mayanwisdomcourse.com. Module 4 is on spiritual healing and spiritual intuition, balancing the spiritual being.
There comes a time in our lives that we question if it's something that is it real, is it not real? There comes a time that perhaps maybe certain things would frighten us. But the beauty of it is, how is it that we can step into these realms and be supported by the heart of the heavens and the heart of the earth? We are children of the divine, and so we experience, but we need to stay in that alignment of the embrace of our Father, Mother. And so we journey with that knowing that we have this protection.
Module 5 is on Olympia, cleansing, clearing, and spiritual bathing.
It's all about releasing. It's all about cleansing accumulated energy. It's about showing how to do this, how to properly do it, and how to become a vessel, a clear vessel, and how to keep yourself like that, to do the best that we can do in everyday life.
Module 6, tinctures, tonics, and moon water, making your own tonic.
We will be discussing not only tonics, but I'd like to move into making different types of oils, making perhaps maybe creams or salves, and the type of herbs that we need for our personal use. I think that once we learn to do a few personal things, we can, go on further and do for others. So all of these things will be an introduction. I'm going to invite you to fall in love with these methods of healing that are really sweet and fulfilling, and you'll see the results immediately, just like the results of my blood stopping from my leg when I got cut, and my sister did the application of the onion skin. That was pretty magical. I look back and I say, wow, beautiful.
And finally, Module 7, dreaming, dream recall, and intuitive dream interpretation.
Yeah, we're like in this dream always. And it's good to know how to decipher the dreams. And also I'm going to talk about journaling, because sometimes dreams are so abstract, we don't get it in the moment. And the dreams are very individual, and a lot of the times we have to develop a way of translating them, and I can guide those this way.
Well, what a beautiful offering. So I encourage everyone to go to the URL mayanwisdomcourse.com. You can read through, tune in, and feel into whether this is the right next step for your journey, and you can really be in the trusted hands of a beloved wisdom keeper. So I'll share a few other things. So not only do you get the 90-minute sessions with Flordemayo, which includes interactive time, Q&A time, and ceremonial time, there's also recordings of each session, both video and audio, as well as word-for-word transcripts. There's a Facebook community to support and deepen your experience, as well as a number of extra bonuses to enhance the journey for you. There's a video teaching from Grandmother Flordemayo on prayer and meditation, vision and calling in your dreams. There's a video teaching on the vision of the golden child for humanity. There's a lot of different layers to this. Actually, you see the golden child for humanity behind Flordemayo, and we don't have time today, but really there's a whole unveiling of a future birthing of the divine humanity that's moving through her around this. It's very beautiful. There's also dialogue and companion dream interpretation PDF hosted by Keza Vida called The Threads of Dreaming. And we have one special bonus from Flordemayo called The Legend of Lord Kame and the Crystal Skulls. This is a whole video teaching around this. We've gotten to witness some of these crystal skulls. There's a lot of lore and legend around it. And Flordemayo, you want to share a little bit about what you explore in that video teaching about the skulls?
The biggest thing that I wanted to share with everybody is that it does not translate to death. There is this thinking that a skull is, it represents that. But the beauty of the legend of the Lord Keme is so, so beautiful. The grandmother who created the world of the Maya, in her creation, she called upon the Lord of the Four Directions. And when the Lord of the West started to solidify, they came as shafts of light from the heavens, and they are in the four directions. The Lord of the West, this light then solidified into crystal. And at the top of the crystal, a skull appeared. And the skull had a removable jaw, so that when it spoke, the mouth opened and closed. And so the children became very, very curious. And they knew that they were speaking to the Lord Kame at that time, because the grandmother had said, Lord Kame, I want you to come and teach the children. And so Lord Kame is speaking to the children, and the children said, Lord Kame, why is it that you look like a skull? And the Lord Kame said, children, this cranium is to remind you where the human brain is, the human intelligence. But when you see me as this crystal being, I hold the intelligence of the stars. And when you learn about the teachings of the crystal skull, you will have the knowledge of the earth and the heavens. And it is so sweet. We become terrestrial beings and we become celestial beings through this knowledge. And it's an incredible journey. It's just like this incredible way to journey. And it's beautiful. It's another way, another door.
Well, that is truly a fascinating extra bonus, and that bonus is available when you sign up by midnight tonight, which is our way to just give you a little extra encouragement to make a decision now while you have the most information, the most connection with what Flordemayo is sharing, and you can really discern if this is the right next step for you. And if it is, then you've got an extra bonus of the Legend of Lord Kame and the Crystal Skulls video teaching when you sign up by midnight. So all of the details on this beautiful program are on the page at mayanwisdomcourse.com. You get 7 sessions, you get all the extra bonuses and the crystal skulls when you sign up by midnight tonight. We've kept the investment really accessible. It's just 3 payments of $109, or you save 10% when you pay in full with 1 payment of $297. So the course is going to start on October 7th and run Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. And even if you can't make those live times, you can still get the full value because you'll participate with the recordings and in the community as well. I also encourage you to read through some of the testimonials from people who are TEDx speakers and finance executives and Sufi teachers. All kinds of people really see Flordemayo is just a very authentic wisdom keeper, somebody who has blessed and transformed so many lives. And she just really speaks the truth of her own experience, and such a valuable set of lessons that come from that. So it's going to be a beautiful journey and a great opportunity to have a community, a global community of really dedicated souls to journey with in this time that there's a lot of challenge and darkness, and to really be bringing in a spirit of love and light and new possibility with this beautiful wisdom keeper. So again, you can find all the details at mayanwisdomcourse.com, and you get the Crystal Skulls bonus when you sign up by midnight tonight. So anything that I didn't say about the upcoming course you still want to say before we close out with the little prayer circle?
Well, just the beauty of sitting together, all of those that are going to join in this course, and for us to be able to look at each other and speak heart to heart. That's so beautiful. And the beauty of it is we just don't know what the future holds for us. And so, this way we have these tools to help us, and tools that you can share. So in my heart, I feel that it's imperative, and I feel strongly that I need to share as much as I possibly can. And so I welcome you, and I would love to see you in this class. And, thank you for coming.
Beautiful. So again, all the details and to sign up you can find at mayanwisdomcourse.com. So let's close with another round of prayer blessing.
Thank you. Beloved beauty, beloved creator, Thank you, beloved Mother. On this sacred day, you have come to us. You have come and you have touched our hearts. We had created a circle of light this very, very moment. And you have come to us and you have touched us. You've embraced us with your cloak of protection, and you have touched us in a way that allows us to feel the beauty of the future, the beauty of our babies, that they would have a precious, beautiful upbringing. Beloved Creator, thank you for all of these beautiful things that you bring to us. And it is up to us humans to open our arms and open our hearts and say, yes, beloved Mother, thank you for these beautiful teachings that you bring to us. That we hold these teachings in our hearts and that we share these teachings in the future. Beloved Mother, I thank you. I thank you for all of the beauty that you bring to us on a daily basis. I want to thank the spirit of all of our ancestors. Beloved Creator, in the name of the great mystery, I thank you.
Thank you. What a beautiful and precious prayer. And thank you all for joining us here together and creating this sacred space across the wires and across the world. So thank you all. And if you would like to go further with Flordemayo and her teaching and transmission, just go to mayanwisdomcourse.com and you can join the next stage of the journey. So thank you.